Remember this? Royal Birkdale, 1998. And a fresh-faced 17-year-old by the name of Justin Rose plays his final shot as an amateur at the Open Championship. An incredible eagle would clinch the silver medal and a tie for fourth. The rest is history. Anna's been reflecting on that amazing week with the now Olympic champion and seasoned pro.
Justin, 19 years now since your silver medal at the Open at Birkdale. Unbelievably fast it's gone. But just to look back at the 98, you actually tried to qualify since the age of 14, is that right? Is that something that you always wanted to do as an amateur?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Open Championship was, well, it's been a dream of mine ever since I was a very young kid. You know, I've held the winning putt to win the Open thousands of times on the putting green. And, you know, as soon as my handicap was low enough to enter the Open qualifying, I think I did it. And, yeah, you know, I led Open qualifying at the age of 14 at Northants, which was my home club, went up to Scotland for the final stages, and I remember that creating quite a buzz and a stir with some sort of local media and what have you. So, you know, obviously 98 happened, so, you know, I've definitely created a storyline with the Open Championship from an early age.
After the second round, you were tied with Tiger and Nick Price in second place. Was it hard not to get ahead of yourself at that point? You must have just been happy to make the weekend.
Yeah, you know, my original goal for the week was to win the silver medal, and I was going up against Cooch and Sergio Garcia, and obviously two great players, so, you know, I thought I was up against it. And then, obviously, the golf that I played was, you know, beyond maybe my expectations for sure. But then the crowd just got behind me, and the energy was amazing, and I kind of realized that no one really expected me to go on and challenge to win. You know, I think they all kind of thought, well, I hope this kid doesn't blow up and shoot 85 tomorrow.
Get in there. Fabulous.
You know, I kind of also realized that no one expected me to do well, so it was a win-win really, and I think that helped relax me, and then fortunately I did play well, so kind of kept the hype going into Sunday.
Justin Rose, not yet 18, 2 strokes behind.
Going into Sunday, do you remember what you were thinking when you went to bed that night, and just the excitement that was to come? Yeah,
I mean, I remember that we stayed with a really sweet couple in a local bed and breakfast, and you know, after qualifying at Hillside, you know, my parents were scrambling around to try and find accommodation for us, and this sweet family took us in, and I remember them being a bit blown away with it all, and going out and buying all the newspapers on the Saturday morning and kind of like plonking them down in the living room, and then, you know, it's probably what I didn't need to be seeing, to be honest with you, but you know, it just, the whole excitement of it all was something that we embraced, I think, and but yeah, going into Saturday, it was just basically about, let's just enjoy this experience. But then going into Sunday, I kind of felt very good about my game, and felt like I could still continue to play well, and I set myself a goal of finishing inside the top 10, and I remember playing the 18th hole and sizing up the leaderboard and saying, okay, I think, you know, I've achieved that goal. I was a few shots ahead of 10th place, and it relaxed me, and obviously I made that ridiculous pitch shot on 18, and then only really finished 2 shots behind the winning score. So when I look back at it, I think it was incredible that at the age of 17 I was able to come so close to winning.
No, it was incredible. And how did you approach it? At the weekend, at one point, you were leading after 12 holes. Did you look at the leaderboard? Were you aware of where you were?
I think just because of the atmosphere of the crowd, it was hard to ignore the position I was in, and I did kind of, yeah, I didn't know I was leading at that point, but I felt like I was going to win the Open. It was like, which is such a crazy thought, but I don't know what it was, but it felt like even if I hit a bad shot, my short game would get me out of trouble, or I'd make a putt. I kind of just had this feeling of freedom with my game, and I've been trying to find that ever since.
Not true. I guess at the time you were playing with some of your heroes. Do you remember what any of the other players said to you at the time that you took on from that?
Yeah, I remember John Houston, who I think I played with in the final round, saying, hey man, I want to be your agent. I remember Fred Couples kind of coming up and walking and sort of watching me hit a couple of shots on the range, and like, oh, so that's how you do it. So yeah, you know, a couple of the old pros were kind of really, you know, encouraging and having fun with me given the situation, and you know, Brian Watts, who I think was probably also in a very, you know, unusual situation for him too, leading the Open Championship. I think he played a lot of his golf in Japan at that time, so it was probably a new experience for him. So we had kind of a pretty good day together and spurred each other on, so that was cool. And but yeah, it was just an amazing week, start to finish, really.
Well, that was then, and this is now. After everything that you've achieved this year, coming so close at the Masters, the crowd will no doubt be behind you at Birkdale. What do you think their response will be to you there?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously, I think whenever an English player gets on the leaderboard, there's definitely a bit more energy behind them, or there's more support. And you know, I always grew up listening to Nick Faldo, the Nick Faldo roar, like when he made putts, and you know, come on Nick, you know, like the way the crowd get behind him. And there's nothing like an Open Championship roar. So, listen, the crowd, I would say, can't help me until I get into contention, and then obviously if they do get behind me, that would be an amazing feeling. You know, it would be something that would be incredibly special.
And looking at your achievements today, US Open champion, gold medalist, to get that Claret Jug, where would that rate on your achievements?
Oh my God, it would probably top everything. You know, just with my history with the Open Championship, it would kind of be a full circle moment for me, I guess, and especially at Birkdale, I couldn't dream of a better place to win it. Maybe St Andrews would be special, obviously, but given my situation and my history with it, you know, Birkdale would be pretty perfect. But you know, my job is to not put too much expectation and pressure on myself given that, and just go and enjoy the week. And you know, obviously we're here. You know, I'm just looking at the rest of this season, really, I suppose, from now until, you know, goodness knows when, certainly through the FedEx Cup and then into the race to Dubai. There's so much golf to be played that I just want to really focus on a good block of work, and if I can time it just right for the Open or the PGA or something like that, then great, but there's so much good golf to be played, and that's what I'm focused on.
Well, we hope Royal Birkdale treats you as well the second time as it did the first time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.